Okay.
Hey guys, it's Jack here from CollateralGaming, here with Lewis, and we're going to be talking about the new map for PlayerUnknown Battleground, better known as Pubg. The new map's called Miramar, so yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah! So let's just get an overview of the map so far. Jack, what do you think are the good parts of the map whilst it's in its test server at this moment in time?
Well, server issues aside, I actually think the map's pretty good. It's got a massive sort of feel, like different feel to it than the original map in Pubg. Obviously, it's a desert map, so you know the previous one was kind of sort of like Russian kind of esque style,
like
that sort of thing.
Foresty sort of highland sort of feel. I think it had to it. A very very similar to DayZ and H1Z1. Yeah, same sort of landscape.
Definitely. So there's a lot of trees, which means you get a lot of cover, and then you get the kind of typical kind of like little bush campers, you know, where people will just go prone in some bushes or something like that. But the new map, yes, yeah, exactly, and snake snipers. Whereas the new map is a lot more open, and at the same time, it kind of favors like building play, like people kind of sticking to buildings, that kind of thing. But in vast areas of the map, there aren't any buildings around, so you know it gets around that aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably say the same as well as what you've just said, but I think there's a lot of different types of buildings in this compared to the previous map. There's a lot of floors as well. So there's like one building, it's like a construction building, and you can literally go up like 10 floors, and then you've got a whole view of the whole town or city, which I think's pretty OP, but in other ways, I think it just takes a long time to get to grips with.
I was literally just thinking that about like learning what you can and can't do with the new buildings. As soon as you said the construction site, it made me think of when we were playing the other day, and there was that guy at the bottom, and sort of turned the corner and we killed him, and then his mate was like 3 stories up, like at the top of this like construction site. I just didn't realise you could even get up there, and he like got down in 10 seconds or something like that, which is incredible.
I think literally it just comes down to the knowledge. I think it's going to take a lot longer for people to get to grips with the layout of buildings and towns and where it's best to go. Whereas with the previous map, Erangel, however you fucking say it, is the fact that it was a lot. I don't know. The buildings, they seem to only have
They're
around.
Quite basic.
Yeah, they only had around maybe 10 to 20 different types of buildings actually in the game, so you could really get used to how the buildings worked. But I think this, I think there's a vast amount more buildings.
I think in the old map there were kind of different skins, but the actual layout of the building was pretty much the same. So you know like a loot pattern for the houses that you kind of develop. Yeah, whereas with this one, I don't think you're going to have loot patterns so much because the buildings are very sort of customized, which is good. Yeah.
So moving on to the actual new guns and vehicles introduced in this map. Let's start with the guns first. What's your take on the gun?
I think as a general comment across all the new guns, I think they're all pretty useless. I mean, I don't really see any of them getting used as a, you know, like if you're trying to win a game and you're trying to get into the top 10 or something like that. I don't think any of the new guns that are introduced are going to help you get into that. The Winchester is quite a cool, like, you know, people think of like Wild West and that sort of thing, but realistically, the fire rate on the gun is too slow, and the iron sight on it is just, you know, for better use of the word, it's just atrocious. Basically, it's not great.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's still fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think let's take the Winchester for example. I mean, I think for people who are really good at FPS games, I think that gun's very good as an early pickup because you can sort of work with the iron sight and you can easily take op shots, and it's usually two bullets to down an early player anyway. And there's not a lot of bullet drop on that gun as well, which is kind of crazy because it uses a .45 ACP round, so you'd think that there would be a lot of bullet drop, but there's actually not on the gun, which is crazy. So you can actually get quite a big distance on it. So I think for more advanced gamers, I think the Winchester's a good pickup. But for the average Joe player like myself, you know, using the Winchester's using the Winchester's quite difficult for me anyway to get to grips with. But yeah, I mean, with the other guns that are introduced, I think it's just
about the shotguns.
The shotguns seem to have reduced damage overall.
Yeah, I think the spray as well is like they've changed the spray big time on the guns, I think.
Yeah, like you don't even need a choke on shotguns. Like it's very very narrow. It's not like a classic grape shot where the radius should be a lot wider. it seems to be like you've got to be very, very accurate to get the most damage, which is kind of a shame, really, because the shotgun is sort of a gun that you don't have to be 100% accurate with. And as long as you're close range, you're going to get that high damage in. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's more about just putting skins. It's just a skin change. It's like
like the sawn-off's a cool concept.
Yeah, definitely.
And it takes the pistol slot, doesn't it? I think.
Yeah. So that's definitely good. So you can actually roll with 3 guns late game, whereas usually like mid to late game, you pistol is out the window the minute you find an AR. So
unless like someone's trying to be edgy, like James Bond modes, you got your silencer, extended quick draw, and then like a little red dot on your pistol. But like even then, you're never going to be able to kill anyone if they see you, unless you're
unless you're doing some
they're
sort
terrible.
Of, unless you're doing some sort of crazy challenge where you want to just try and roll with the pistol or the shotty or something like that. So so that's pretty much it, really. I mean, good and bad, but overall I think it's just pretty average, really, for the guns. I mean, it's exciting.
Not game changing, but
no. I mean, it's exciting to pick up new guns, definitely, like different sounds, reloading, amounts of bullets, different types, and stuff like that, which is good.
I love the optics change as well. Actually, I know they rolled that out, and in some of the older test versions, test server versions, they brought out the new optics to the Erangel map. And where they physically kind of changed the 8 times and the 4 times, but I think the scrolling mechanism on the 8 times is actually really good, because when you're playing in a squad and you're struggling to find some sites, it means that if someone's rolling with like an 8 times and you've got 4 times as well, you can dump that 4 times on the other player and you can just use the scroll on the 8 times. Like it doesn't go back to a 4 times, but you're in that kind of area, and it's not you're not looking inside someone's soul when you're like zooming down the optic, so you can pull it out of it, which is good.
Yeah, definitely. So let's sort of move on to the performance of the map in general, and how Bluehole have sort of, or Pubg Corporation, whichever one you want to call it, have sort of implemented the new map into the test server. So I think the first thing that we should definitely speak about is the awful elastic band lagging that a lot of people have been getting in both duos and squads. Not so much in solo. It's not actually that bad in solo, but so what are your thoughts on the best way of going forward for Bluehole to try and sort this issue out?
They just got to get it done, really. I mean, everyone knows it's a test server. You don't have to play it, but with the launch, the supposed launch of it being less than a week away now, is it on the 20th? If that went live, I wouldn't play the game. I would wait. I would just wait. The amount of time and frustration that will build up. If you're at the start of the game, you jump down, you spawn, and you've got a gun, and then your teammate says to you, "Oh, there's a guy near me. Like, I need your help. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming." And then you run around a corner, you get pulled back, and then you run around the corner again, you get pulled back, and it's like, "I'm coming" for the 3rd time, you get pulled back, and it's just like the frustration. And then your teammate gets killed or something. Someone comes around the corner and shoots you. It's just manic, really. It's not fun to play.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I usually, as I say, I keep a track of the Pubg forums to make sure what they're actually going to be doing about it. And they have said a couple of days ago that they're going to be trying to sort out the server optimization. So hopefully, before the release date, which is the 20th, which is like crazy. I mean, the time frame there is
half a week. Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous. Especially the amount of staff they have is pretty low. It's about 40 people. Trying to deal with everything on the previous map and this map, like cheating and so forth. I think it's going to be a really, really, really tough for them to be able to get it all sorted out before then. So let's move on to the cars and vehicles. Let's just say vehicles. That's probably a lot better, isn't it? Vehicles covers bikes.
Cars are vehicles.
Cars are vehicles. Holy. The first one, what
do you think of the sounds?
Oh, the sounds, yeah. So the sounds across both maps, because that's been implemented on both now, which is kind of cool. The sounds on Miramar is really, really good, I think. Definitely a hell of a lot better. You've got the gear changes now, so it's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, that's cool.
On the vehicles, I think the pickup is the number one. The pickup truck is the number one vehicle in the game.
It's cool that you can actually sit in the back of it as well.
Yeah,
hillbilly.
Yeah, you can have like 6 people. I think you can have 4 in the back, obviously 2 in the front. I'm pretty certain. You can have up to 6 people in that. So
yeah, I don't understand that though. Like, what's the idea behind the function of having 6 people in the car? Because you can only do, unless they're planning to introduce bigger like bigger team
I don't know. I think it all might. Yeah, I think it might also be the fact that people use custom servers, and with that, you can have as many sort of size teams as you like. So maybe they're catering towards people who are making their own sort of custom games up, which is kind of cool. So they're also catering to people like that.
Or maybe it's if you're driving along and someone ninja hops in the back of your car and then no one realizes, and then when you all get out, he runs off and leaves you stranded in the desert.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like,
I think that's what they're really anticipating. I don't think the idea of custom maps, that's a bit far fetched.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Bluehole, don't put anything past them. Done some weird and wonderful things. So that's pretty much everything that we covered about the map. That's the end of this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Lewis from Collateral Gaming. Please stay tuned. We've got way more content coming following PUBG and other games. So I'll see you later. Bye.